Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young Flash Live. Y'all know how we do this. Flash Live out of nowhere, man. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, tuning into lives, commenting in the comment sections, man. I really appreciate each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and just showing your support, generally speaking. On this platform, we're doing new things. Y'all know how it is. Now, take the hate somewhere else, man. We don't got time for that, man, but we do have time to edify one another, grow, from one another, from the sport of boxing, man. Love it, love it, love it. Got some things to talk about, man. Lots of, news, and definitely want to chop it up with my guy, LeVar Cooper. I hope everyone's safe. I hope everyone's doing well. People are already jumping in the building. I really appreciate each and every one of you, like I've been saying. And if you guys haven't, I just want to, before we start, with my guy LeVar here, if anybody hasn't seen the video after this live, go ahead and please share it. The video I talked about concerning McCaskill and Breakus, women boxing definitely needs more limelight, ladies and gentlemen. They need it. So please, please, please go ahead and share it, on your platforms or what have you, on your social media. Share it, get the word out on that, man, because these queens, in boxing need the limelight. They need more exposure, definitely, man. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope everyone's doing great today. I just love going live and just chopping up the sport of boxing, man. I love the community, man. We've been having the panelists here recently. Y'all know what it is, man. Those who have been tuning in, people been jumping in the building, tuning into lives. I really appreciate each and every one of you. LeVar, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Good, man. It's just a wonderful day, man. It's a trip because all this online transition, what I'm saying? This whole online transitioning, it's just the way we work is kind of different. It's just all virtual. I'm getting the hang of it and stuff because it's been since last March, almost a freaking year already doing this. And, sometimes, just a little chit chat, what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't even know what day it is, bro. It's just like, I don't know why. I just don't know what day it is sometimes. I wake up in the morning after a nice rest, what I'm saying? Good sleep, ready for the day. And I'm like, what day is it? Like what the heck is going on? It's great, but it's just a big transition, for humanity all over the world, what's going on. And, as far as with me and my job, it's all virtual. So, I mean, it's not like before where everybody's, at the workplace in the work area and you see people day to day. Good morning. How you doing? Troubleshooting problems. They come to you physically, right? Face to face. And all right, let's do this. Let's move this around, blah, blah, blah. Moving and shaking, what I'm saying? Shaking and moving. And, but it's all online now. And I don't know why I don't lose my sense of time, but it's like, what day is it? Sometimes I wake up in the morning. I'm like, what is it? Monday? No, it's Thursday. No, it's Tuesday. Like this morning I woke up and I was thinking, what day is it? I was like, I know I got to work, but I got to get up, but it's just kind of weird, man, but I'm doing great, man. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Trying to stay warm, brother. It's cold outside. Matter of fact, my kids, both of my sons, they're in class right now doing their virtual learning. So, speaking of what you just talked about, last year at the beginning of the pandemic, when they started doing the virtual learning, it was kind of chaotic. It's chaos due to the fact that when they were in Zoom, Zoom would crash sometimes because pretty much all the kids all over the world they're trying to get Zoom classes done. So it was a hassle, but now things are a lot better. So I understand what you're talking about.
Right. So right now, your kids getting kind of used to it now.
Yeah, they are. They're getting used to it. Sometimes, look, I don't even have to ask them for their schedule. They're telling me, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to go into social studies." Oh, okay, son. Let me know if you need any help.
I think the advantage of all this virtual stuff is for children. Now they're getting more engaged with technological, different ways of how to use digital platforms and resources rather than just YouTube or rather than just video games. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly, man. I understand what you're saying, man. It's a blessing, that they just, the school systems decided to do the virtual learning. I mean, you do have some kids that are actually like going into the building learning as well. But we've had some kids test positive for COVID while being in the school building. So, they're just trying to find a way of, you know, minimizing that. but taking precautions. But sometimes it's hard to do, because when they clean the schools, you don't know what the kids are doing when they go home and who they're hanging out with. So you know how it goes, brother.
You know what I noticed? So kids, when they, that you heard those cases that test positive, from what I know, I don't really know too much about it as far as symptoms with kids. I mean, are they really symptomatic? Not really, right?
No, not really. It's been select few. It doesn't have a major COVID doesn't have a major impact on like the kids, teenagers, like it does for us as adults. So it hit us harder than it does them. But they do catch it, but they don't have the serious symptoms that we do if we were to get it.
Right. So, getting back to that the whole digital thing with kids, I'm seeing, and the school system, especially for the youngsters, the kids, I think it's great because I remember, reflecting on this, I remember when I was back in elementary school, it's back when we had Windows 95 or whatever year it was, 94. But the cool thing about this though, it was awesome, man. And I love it. I'll never forget it. And that's where I learned, that's how I can get myself around to things now. Like, for example, like digitally speaking with software, it goes all back to what I learned from elementary school, like the basics, opening files, Windows, the basic tools that I learned, because we had, I just remember it, man, so clearly that, and this is why I say it's a great advantage for kids right now and what they're experiencing, because like you said, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing in disguise, as a matter of fact, because these kids, these tools that they're learning right now, how to get on platforms, how to learn online, it's going to really help them in the future. It's going to really help them, man, because I remember getting back to what I was saying, that we had like once a week, if I remember correctly, it was once a week. And I would get so excited, man, that the teacher would say, okay, it's computer lab day. It was called computer. Yeah. You had that too?
Yeah, man. And look, man, I'm about to tell my age, man. But yeah, I remember computer lab, man, and playing Oregon Trail, man.
I was just gonna tell you. And I remember she would teach us, the fundamentals or whatever the heck, right, of software, and how to open up files and how to copy, paste, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And then we would have a little free time, and I would play around with the thing. I don't remember what the heck it was, but you would put like cartoon characters in a landscape, like a wizard, and then they would have sound effects. And I don't know how many people remember this, man, who go back, but there was one specifically that goes, "We all live in the young," I don't know how, yellow submarine. Oh my gosh. But why am I saying this? Because all that, hands-on engagement, we would get so excited. Yes, computer lab day. We would all run and select, run in the computer lab and run to my computer. Oh man, it was just amazing. And that all helped me for now to now. I remember years ago when the first iPad, no, it was the first MP3 players from Apple. I don't remember. There was like little squares. And it was, revolutionary, whatever. It was years ago, back in 2006, man, 2007, maybe. And I remember I went to a little, cyber, whatever, where there's computers. And I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm going to connect this to the computer, and I have to download Apple, whatever the heck, software online. And in order to download all this on my MP3, Apple iPad, whatever it was, MP3 player, something like that, I'm going to have to, synchronize and do this and that. And I called cause I didn't know how to do it. And I called the guy there, the owner. He was like some technical, engineer, whatever, on, systems, advanced dude. And I was like, hey, can you help me out? And how do I do this? And he was looking around. He's like, well, and he was kind of lost. I said, never mind, man, I'll do it myself. And then, 5 minutes, I figured it out. See, that's what I'm saying. Basic things I've learned from even back in elementary school when it comes to digital things. And right now, these kids that are, schooled online right now, it's gonna really help them in the future, man.
Absolutely, man. It will, man. You just never know, man. They're learning things that are very, high technical than what we had,
These kids are going to be advanced, bro. And the thing that now parents, You know, we're just doing a little chit chat. Those who are jumping in the building, thank you guys so much for jumping in. I see you guys, man. Thank you so much, man. Y'all know how we do it. A little chit chat. Bruce goes G5 ASAP. What's going on, family? Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Bruce goes says here, we didn't even have calculators when I went to school. Okay, we're thinking. Now the thing here, Bruce, is, and what I'm going to say right now is that you know, parents, and even if you're not a parent, what have you know, whatever age we are, and we were just talking about this a little bit a moment ago, LeVar, me and I backstage, that right now, man, parents have to be in the know of everything, and adults, generally speaking, as far as technological tools, and you know, because we're in 2021, man. I'm not saying that you have to be walking around virtual reality things stuck on your head or whatever, right? No, but you know, it's very important right now to be updated, because kids right now, they're going to be a lot more advanced than their parents with these things that we're talking about in a few years from now, man. And parents got to be, you know, and adults generally speaking, because that's the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, you're right. You're right, brother. I agree with you 100%, man. It's crazy how technology has changed over the years from the time that, you know, we were in school and until now. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Hey, salute to Bruce Goes and G5 and to AZAP Sam. Back of the South. Salute to you, brother.
Yeah, Mac of the South, man, jumping in. You know, we're just doing a little chit chat. Y'all know how we do it, man. Just a little chit chat before we start getting to the boxing talk. Got some boxing news, man, this morning. Heck yeah, we want to talk about it. We're gonna break it down, man. So, you know, and that's the thing. You know, I wish I can go back, man, because you know, back when we didn't have all these technological tools, you know, I grew up in that, and I'm sure you did too. That, you know, in that era where it started revolutionizing things, technology and gadgets and things like that, it started to revolutionize the era. But I was growing up still in the time where we still rode around on our bicycles. You know what I'm saying? I remember at that time, Young Guns 1 and Young Guns 2 movie came out with Emilio Estevez, you know, and I remember, you know, we were at that time, my friends and I would go out and play, you know, horses on our bikes, you know, in the sand dunes, you know, next to where in the neighborhood where we grew up. And I would imagine, you know, having a horse, that bike was my horse, you know, looking at the sunset in Arizona. And I would imagine myself being one of those young gun guys, one of those cowboys, you know. So at that time, we would make tree houses, you know, that at that time, technology was starting to revolutionize things, yeah. Game Boys, Game Gears, but it wasn't taking our lives over. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I trust me, man. I agree, man. And man, I love that movie, man. Young Guns, man. That was, man, that cast.
Classic, bro.
Classic, bro. Definitely classic.
That movie was classic. 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
And, you know, that movie, you know, impacted me so much that I remember Young Guns 2. Remember the way it started and the way it ended. It was a reporter who, you know, saw Billy the Kid, old guy on the highway. Mm-hmm. And he chased him down, Billy the Kid, you know, and he started asking him stuff, and man, and he started giving his story. Wow. And then it transitioned to the movie. And then at the end, amazing ending. I remember it when I was a kid, you know, since I was a kid. I don't watch movies nowadays. I don't have time for that. I really don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, see, I wanted to do this. Curtis Anderson knows about it. I called him some time ago, months ago. And I want to do something in the future with him about what we're talking about, but hopefully we'll get to that soon. But the reason why I say is because that movie and that movie impacted me so much, and movies in general. You know, seeing the right movies, they impact us and they can change us, man. They can help us change our perspective on life, bro. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of that movie, I remember when you know, he was talking, the old guy, the reporter with the old guy, and he was starting to walk away, and then that song, Blaze of Glory, came to close the movie, man. Wow.
Yeah, I know that. Oh man, phenomenal song.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
And what's more impacting is it was based on a true story, right? Young Guns.
Yeah, it was based on a true story. I'm glad that they came out with a part 2, man. I mean, honestly, they could have kept it going if they wanted to.
Right.
But yeah, man, 2 classic movies, man. Definitely
another one, and one of the reasons why it's impacted me so much, because I grew up around the area, the West Coast. You know, if I'm not mistaken, Billy the Kid and all, you know, those stories. Tombstone, that's another movie. Arizona. Oh, yeah. I remember in high school or in junior high, we would go visit there, man. Tombstone, the actual place, man. It's like, wow, such history. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely so much history, man. I agree, man. I love those movies. I love classic movies from the 90s, man.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And you know, so it is what it is, man. It's just I just like having this little small talk, you know what I'm saying? And Brusco says here, I love the Young Guns movies. Yeah, man. I mean, interesting. So, oh yeah, Bruce goes, yeah, of course you can. Now, Bruce, just a little thing, bro. Before I send you the link, the microphone that you use, if you use do you use it? Let me know in the chat, bro. Do you use a cell phone? Do you know how to use a cell phone to jump in so you can just use the microphone of your cell phone as if you were talking on a phone? Please let me know that, Bruce, because the mic that you use, it's been like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mentioned it to you before. The mic goes really low and then it goes up. It just transitions in volume. So I think that the best way to do it, Bruce, so you can be clear with your sound, is just try to use your phone when I send you the link. Just click it with your phone, and as if you're, you know, and it will directly. I do it constantly, Bruce. You go to your email and you click on the link, okay, and it'll immediately, as if you were on a computer, on your phone, it will go directly to StreamYard, bro. And just use the normal microphone from your phone, bro, because it sounds a lot better with the phone microphone. You don't really have to use the other mic you use. Just a recommendation, bro, because of the sound. It's been really low. It goes low and then it goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up, you know. And so that's the only thing, Bruce. If you can see, let me know in the chat, bro, if you can do that. It's very simple, man. So yeah, definitely you can jump in. We'll get you in a moment, bro. So all right, man. So you ready for that boxing talk, LeVar?
I am. I definitely am, brother. How's G5 out there?
Yeah, G5. What's going on, family? G5, man. And we'll send you links right now in a moment, fam. We'll send you links, man. Definitely. So yeah, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Thank you guys so much for jumping in the chat, and you know, we'll see what jumps in later in a moment while we do this stream. So let's get to this, man. You know, several things. First, I kind of want to start out with fluff. You know, fluff news, I guess we can say. You know, not too important. It is to a certain extent, though, because you know, it's new and it's something that's kind of disheartening, in my humble opinion. Okay, Gary Russell came out recently saying that Eddie Hearn via social media. That's another thing. I gotta say this. A lot of people say in boxing communities or what have you, they say, yeah, you don't do business online. You don't do business via Twitter. I get it, but the wave of the future is here. The wave of the future is here, man. It's not uncommon now that promoters will send offers to boxers via social media, bro. Not in the light of the public, no, but right. via direct messaging. You know what I'm saying? Official profiles will send you a message, a fighter, because Russell came out and said it that you know, Eddie Hearn via Instagram or something like that, you know, some social media, direct messaged Gary Russell and offered him $1 million. Yeah, it was through Instagram. He reached out to Gary Russell through Instagram and offered him $1 million to fight Warrington. Okay, to fight Warrington. And what did Gary Russell say? He said, nah, that's below my standards. Oh, come on, bro. Okay, now, first, I just want to give my little input on it, give my 2 cents on it. That's lame, bro. As far as Gary Russell, okay, you take what you can, man. Look at the point of Gary Russell's career right now. No one's really talking about him. The only reason they're talking about this guy is, and all due respect to Gary, man, we want to see him fight. Amazing skills, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. But what I don't like about this with Gary Russell, he comes out running his mouth off. I'll fight Bud. I'll do this and that, going back and forth with Bud, and then going back and forth with, you know, Devin Haney. Nothing happened. And I personally think that Haney was more transparent in that whole fiasco. I know other people may think differently, but whatever. Didn't happen. And then Gary Russell coming out speaking this and that every time a fighter comes out. You know what I'm saying? And now this. He was given an offer, you know, by Eddie Hearn, and now, you know what I'm saying? Now he doesn't. Now he's saying, no, millions below my standards. What do you think about that, man?
I think that's horrible, man. You know, he hasn't fought since February 8th of 2020. So in a couple of days, 4 days from now, make a year he's been out of the ring. Honestly, man, I don't know why these boxers keep pricing themselves out. I think it makes them look bad. Gary Russell Jr. He's marketable. That's gonna take a hit, you know, because at the end of the day, man, you're offered $1 million. I get it. I understand it that you want more money, but at a certain point, you have to take what you get. Because if you sit up here and you keep pricing yourself out, that's going to be the longer he's going to be inactive. So, do you know who he said it was going to be? Warrington, Renee?
Yeah, Josh Warrington.
Josh Warrington. Yeah, I mean, why not? That'll be a good fight for him to come back from almost a year layoff. I mean, that would be perfect for him. You know, $1 million. I wish I could have $1 million in my bank account. And for $1 million, I'll get in there with a prime Mike Tyson. I mean, I might get knocked out, but hey, after I wake up, my bank account is going to be nice and fat. Yep. But I think I really think that he really needs to sit down and really focus on what he wants to do. $1 million, that's not bad at all. I mean, I get it. I understand, you know, where he's coming from, but at a certain point, man, you have to get in that ring, man. Everybody's been waiting on you to have an opponent. Everybody's been asking, when is Gary Russell going to fight again? And we don't even know. So I honestly, I don't even know what's going over in that camp with him.
No, and that's why I'm not going against people who are disappointed with Gary Russell and speak out against him. You know, I'm not hating on that, because they have a point. They have a point. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you fought Lomachenko, great, years ago. But don't ride on that. Okay, you have the belt. You've been sitting on it for a while. Great, but what are you going to do next? Okay, this is exactly what happened to Pacquiao. I sent you that link, Bruce. All right, and G5, it's out there. All right, y'all go ahead and check it out if y'all want to jump in. I said the same about Manny Pacquiao. We know he's a legend. We know he's amazing. Blah blah blah. We already know that. But what are you going to do next? You see what I'm saying? That's exactly why I pushed out that video talking about Manny Pacquiao has to do something. You're just sitting around waiting. Enough is enough with that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're a legend. It doesn't matter if, you know what I'm saying? But with all due respect, we understand that. But it's like, okay, Thurman, this connects exactly with what we're talking about. Keith Thurman, he's coming out also saying, we're just going to intertwine these news. This is news also. He's coming out saying, I'd love the Spence fight. How long has he been saying this for, man? I mean, it's like, bro, it's like he says, oh, we'll see in time if it happens. In time, it's been more than enough time for Keith to do something again. His last fight was with Pacquiao. Before that, he fought Jose Tiso. I get it, but it's too much on and off with Thurman. It's too much on and off with Gary Russell. It's too much on and off lately with Pacquiao. You know, the list goes on. It's too much off and on with Parker. I mean, you can go on with these names, bro. You can go on with these names. So, I mean, do you feel the same? What do you think about with Keith with this? What he's saying recently? Oh, I want to fight Spence. You know, I'll fight Spence now. It's like, bro, just don't even say anything if you're not going to do it. Okay. He says, at the end of the day, I want the Spence fight. I assumed after the Pacquiao fight, I was going to have to fight Spence anyways. Now, this is what Keith is saying. Now I don't have the world title, so I don't know if that makes people uninterested in Keith Thurman. But the thing here, it doesn't matter if you had a title or not, Keith. No one's really interested you in it anyway. It sounds harsh, but it's true, bro. No one is really interested in Keith Thurman anymore.
No, I agree, brother. And there's Bruce. Okay. I agree with you, brother. I think, honestly, because of the inactivity that Keith Thurman has had, he's definitely lost that fire, and he's trying to find ways of getting that spark back so that he can get back in the ring. You know, he definitely took Manny Pacquiao. He underestimated him during that fight. Keith Thurman just got to figure out what he wants to do, because all of a sudden, when he was active and Spence wanted to fight him, he was pretty much, you know, trying to Heisman stiff arm Spence. But now that Spence is the man, now he wants to fight Spence. I don't know. Maybe that money's getting low. Who knows? I could be wrong. I'm tired of Thurman. Honestly, it's either you gonna fight It's like what G5 says: either you're gonna fight or you're not gonna fight. So what is it that you want to do? So far as Pacquiao, I think it's time for Pacquiao to retire. In that Thurman fight, man, his footwork was so sloppy, and I'm surprised that Thurman didn't try to capitalize off that. He didn't look like the Manny Pacquiao that we all used to seeing. It's time for him to just ride off in the sunset, man. There's going to be a point in time where Father Time is going to catch up, and it has caught up to him. He just, nobody has been able to capitalize on Pacquiao and all that sloppy foot movement, and just, I mean, he still can throw punches, but I don't like his feet work.
That's facts. Bruce, how you doing, man?
Good morning, everybody. Is my mic okay today so far?
Sounds all right. We'll see, man. We'll see in the transition. Don't worry about it. So how you doing, bro?
See, I'm in the middle of upgrading because this is all pretty new to me. So I talked to my man today, and you know how things are. You don't want to get a lot of people involved in over the house and visits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I intend to improve all this. We talked about that this morning. But anyway, yeah, Manny Pacquiao, I think the WBA, our good friends, they did us a big favor by putting him in a champion in recess, because that's going to open up the welterweight division now to a lot of, first of all, it opens up that WBA super belt. They're going to evaluate Ugas to that title, and now they're talking Ugas and Spence. But anyway, it just creates a lot more buzz in there. And I really hope that Thurman and Spence fight gets made. The Bud Crawford and Spence fight gets made, because obviously we've been talking about this forever. This is the biggest fight of our generation, whether we want to admit it or not. This is as big as Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns for right now. It's just going to be a shame if this fight isn't made. With Manny now being put on the back burner, he can go make his millions fighting mixed martial artists or whatever he wants to do. He's not regulated by the title anymore. We're not chasing him for a belt. The division is wide open. The people and the promoters have to make some fights that can be acceptable and that we're going to buy. I think it's all of a sudden it's become an exciting time in the welterweight division again. I just want to see something start happening.
Definitely, man. G5, how you doing this morning? Yeah, you there, G5?
Yeah, what's going on, Renee?
There we go.
Salute to you, my brother. LeVar, Bruce Goes, what's going on? Salute to my good brothers. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Salute to you and Bruce.
Salute to my brother G5. I'm puffing one up in your honor right now, my man.
Oh man,
I just finished. What we good?
Hey, so G5, what do you got on this? We're intertwining it. So Gary Russell coming out saying, he was given an offer by, Eddie Hearn, at least offered something, $1 million. He says, nah, that's not to my standards. So what the heck's going on then with Gary? And the same thing with Thurman. I'll spotlight Spence, but I mean, you guys, in my personal opinion, it's a little too late. What do you think about it, G5?
Yeah, and okay, if you've been a champion this long, okay, even if you haven't made the most fights, you got more than $1 million if you invested and done something right. If you've been a pro this long, if you just want to prove your point and just prove your greatness, sometimes you got to put the bread to the side.
Right.
If you in between a rock and a hard place in your career, but you're a talented fighter, it's kind of, it sucks to say take the offer even if it's lower. But if you're not in a position where you winning and selling tickets, then you really can't demand nothing too crazy. So it's like I would take it so I can define myself, rather than just sitting down and you got to send me more than that. Like, you really don't have a leg to stand on other than you're a WBC champion and you're a talented fighter, and you have been dubbed. So you have to put yourself in position. By beating Devin, you'll expose yourself and put yourself back more on the map. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would personally do it like, forget this. You know what I'm saying? I got enough money I can pay for these my sparring and my training account. I can take this. They can tax this $1 million if they want to do that. But if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna get some money off some concessions or something. Like, you got to put yourself in position. You got to play ball. You can't just be a fighter. You got to know the business of the business of what you're doing. You're a fighter. Like, why would you make money from something and you don't know the business of it or the logistics of what you're doing that's going to keep you paid? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So I would take it because you have to put yourself out there. You need more exposure. Like, if people don't see you fight, you're going to fall behind.
You know what you're saying, G5, real quick, G5, what you're saying also, this is the problem with Gary Russell. And this is the problem with several other fighters out there. I mean, Gary didn't say nothing about negotiating. Why didn't you don't just slam the door, say, oh, hey, okay, that's fine. But what about 1.5? Negotiate. And Gary Russell just closed the door. No, that's not to my standards. Next. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's what he kind of did, man. It's like, come on, man, you got to put yourself out there. Put yourself in a position to win, man. Like, we know you can fight, my brother, but what else are you doing other than fighting once a year? You know, you got to stay active. You got to stay busy. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep those tools sharp that you have. If not, they will get dull. You know what I'm saying? So you can train every day, but if you're not having the fights, you're not fight ready, if that makes sense. You're prepared, but you're not fight ready because you haven't been fighting. You just having glorified sparring matches and training. Like, you have to get active. You're in your 30s, so it's like, you know what I'm saying, Father Time waits on no man. So what you gonna do to define yourself on this back half of your career? I mean, you know, the Spence thing.
That's so true, man. That's so true. Gary Russell, he got himself in the limelight when he started that internet war with Devin Haney and Bill Haney going back and forth, and everybody was talking about that. Gary Russell was a very hot commodity, and that feud faded away. You know, they sent him a termed agreement. You know, no contracts were ever made about with that fight, and now Gary Russell, because he's not fighting, he's not being put out there. His name is being forgotten again. He's not in the conversation, and it's a shame. Like you said, he's 30 years old at a featherweight, a super featherweight. That's an advanced age. You know, the reflexes slow down when you get into your 30s. You know, Gary Russell, he's a great name, probably the fastest hands in boxing. He's definitely got to make a move. There's no doubt about that. I'd love to see Gary Russell fight anybody in that lower weight division, man. Anybody from 128 to 135.
You know, and this is what he further said. Okay, this is what Gary said further. He said, to be honest, it's nobody in my weight division right now that I would say that I'm actually targeting, that I want. You see, I mean, the things that he says, it's like, then what are you going to do, Russell? Make moves, you know, move. Who cares? Vacate that belt, move up to 130. And he continues to say, all the guys that I want is at maybe 30 or 35. But I think right now I'm at the dilemma, whereas though I'm just coming up on the time frame because I'm a title holder, you know, I have the dilemma, whereas though I still have to defend my title within a certain time frame. But that certain time frame is going, it's advanced, Gary. You see, what I think is that belt that he has, if I'm not mistaken, WBC, whatever the heck belt he has, they should do what the WBA did. Strip him or put him on quote unquote recess, quote unquote recess. put Gary. You see what the WBA did with Manny Pacquiao. I applaud them. You know, get it. Sanctioning bodies start putting into action this stuff, man. Start saying, you know what, if you're not going to fight, go on to the next guy. Give the belt to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that, LeVar? Then we'll go to Bruce. Then we'll go to G5.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's 32 years old, man. He's going to be 33 here in June. So when he's inactive, yeah, I mean, they should put him on recess because, I mean, like I said, 4 days from now is going to make a year that he's been out of the ring. And what you just say, Renee, he said that the guys, he doesn't know who he's targeting right now.
Yeah.
If you don't know who you want to fight,
exactly,
you don't have that fire anymore. He doesn't have that passion to get up and go out there and do what he need to do to take care of business. If that's the case, man, retire. Stop holding things up. Stop holding that belt. Hey, put them in recess. Let somebody else fight for that belt. Maybe that'll light a fire in them. I don't understand what's going on with these fighters where they don't want to fight each other, man. They're taking these long. It's the long layoffs that they're taking. They're enjoying the long layoffs to where they're getting lazy and complacent, man. So I don't know. I don't know what y'all think about it.
What do you think about that, Bruce? He's saying that I have no
Yeah,
one
no,
at 120.
I understand. I understand exactly what he's saying. You know, the frustration is there for everybody, and you know, I see the heart of the problem is the organizations. You know, WBA,
Right,
WBC,
right,
IBF.
right.
The thing is, once you become a champion and accept their belt, you have to follow their rules. That they should present their contenders. They should mandate their contenders. You got a number one contender. You've got a top 15. You know, get a top 15. 15 fighters in your division. You should fight. You have to fight that mandatory contender once a year. You have to defend against a top opposition once a year. I mean, that should be stamped in stone. There should be no room for argument there. You don't want to do that, turn the belt back in. But these federations, these organizations, they'll make these crazy rules. They'll put somebody as a franchise champion. They'll manipulate the ratings. They'll put some guy who hasn't seen a fight in 2 years in the top 10. You know, it's ridiculous. And we're the ones who follow these organizations. If somehow they could be boycotted and eliminated, and we could have something better in their place. I mean, this is all pie in the sky thinking. You know, these guys have been running things for years, and we're accepting what they're running. We're not saying, hey, Gary Russell, man, you haven't fought in a year. You got to defend that title or give it up. You know, that's the way I see it. I just think that they're too lax in their real authority, and then they're too crazy in their giving out these fictitious titles and these awards and these diamond belts and, you know, all these other crazy ratings. These federations have to really get on top of things and control their champions, make them accessible, you know, make them in demand, and it's just not happening.
Exactly. G5, just to reiterate, what do you think about that? Gary Russell saying, well, I don't have anybody targeted for 126, but I'm at the dilemma right now, this and that. You know, it's just like he's just wording things around, and he says, oh, you know, maybe 30 or 35. Then move up and do it and vacate the title, get to action, do something.
That's one of my biggest things. It's like you saying, but you're not doing. It's like we believe in your talent, but you got to show us something, you know, and that's a lot of fighters' problem these days. They talk a lot.
And then
problem.
Yeah,
you know,
and then
so now,
yeah, go ahead.
You're not promoting yourself. You're not putting yourself in position, and you get mad at another party if they don't want to, you know, value or honor what you're trying to do. Like you're not even making moves yourself. You're not making no noise. So how can you demand something or get mad or say somebody ducking just because they don't want to honor what you're doing? Well, if you're not doing any numbers or selling any tickets, then you don't have a leg to stand on other than if you have a belt or you're a champ, you know? So it's like, it's about that. I'm about that action, and I stand on it firm. I mean, we built different in Texas for real. And I'm like, you got one time to call me out. So when you call me out, we fight.
Facts. And then, you know, I mean, I'm not the type of person to speak, you know, in a negative light about somebody, but facts are facts about people, you know, about these fighters, you know what I'm saying? And then Gary Russell continued to say, he said, we want to start working on some things so we can get us another fight in this year. It's like, dude, you've been working on some things for too long, and you've been selling wolf tickets for too long. You've just been doing it for too long. Now you're saying we're going to work on some things. You should have worked on some things months ago. You know, I mean, that's the problem. You know, we're going to work on some things and we'll see. It's like, no, you're just too complacent and you don't want to fight. That's what I see. That's what I say. You know, that would have been an amazing fight against Josh Warrington. You know, take the million, negotiate. He didn't even want to tolerate negotiating. And it's just like what G5 said a moment ago. These fighters don't really know how to do the business side of, okay, look at the team. Okay, what's going on with Gary Russell's team then? What is your team helping you in if they're not helping you in the business side of boxing? Who you got to contemplate who the heck is around you. You know, is it just a bunch of yes men? Oh yeah, Gary, Call them out, man. They don't want to fight you. They're ducking you, man. They don't want the smoke. And okay, yeah, I get it. But where's the business side of your team? Who's orienting you? Who's telling you, I mean, that's what gets me. You know what I'm saying? What happened to negotiating, Gary Russell? No, $1 million aren't to my standards. Then negotiate, bro. Don't just close the door. Josh Warrington would have been an amazing fight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just salute, man, people who are jumping in the building again. Once again, ASAP, man, Mac of the South. Thank you guys so much. Chen Smoke is in the building. What's up, Chen Smoke, man? What's going on? PGH. Man, y'all are awesome, man. Thank you guys for jumping in. We're just talking about Gary Russell, man. And this intertwines also with Keith Thurman. So let me jump back to G5. Then we're going to go to Bruce. Then we're going to go to LeVar, okay? G5, do you think that Keith Thurman is going to come back? Do you think he should retire? What do you think's up? What should Thurman do next? I think he should just get out of here, man.
Well, Keith Thurman, if he don't have the hunger or the desire to try to be a champ again, and he just want to go through the motions, then, hey, teach his own, get your money. But if you don't really want to compete at the top, then what are you fighting for? So, I mean, I think he got to ask himself a hard question. Do I want to fight to try to be the best, or do I just want to fight to just be fighting? It's a difference. So, it's on him. If you ask me. I haven't seen that too impressive that he getting back to where he was. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he should, but I mean, if he's not hungry enough to try to really be at the top again, what's the reason to fight?
Yep. Yeah, man. I agree. Bruce, what do you think about that? Should Keith Thurman just leave?
No. Keith Thurman, he's in that welterweight division right now. He's in a very hot division. The last I heard that Keith Thurman and Mikey Garcia were in talks. Now, to me, that would be a good fight.
Oh, okay.
Keith Thurman is he took a year off. He took over a year off. He's like Ferdinand the Bull. He wanted to smell the roses. He got married. He got a big family. He snapped out of it. He realizes he's got to support that big family. He's got to get the money. He's asking for maybe more than he's worth in this situation. But hey, God bless him, whatever he can get. But the bottom line is he's got to take a fight. He's got to show that he's still got the goods. If I was him, I wouldn't really concentrate on the money for the one fight. I'd concentrate on a comeback fight and looking really good, because after that, sky's the limit. He's got a reputation. He's got a hot division. And I got a call I got to take, so I'm going to have to conk out right now, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll be here. Cool. What you got on that, LeVar? You think he should, continue, or should he just leave, man?
He can continue. I think he can continue, but if he's going to continue, he just needs to stay active, man. What was his last fight? July 20th of 2019, and we're already into 2021.
Yep.
Before that, before Manny, he fought, like you said, Josecito Lopez, January 26th of 2019. So he can do it. He has to stay active. If he stays active, then yes, there's a possibility that he can make noise in that welterweight division. He definitely needs a tune-up fight or two before he gets in there with somebody really elite, because he probably has a lot of ring rust. And granted, it's different, going to the gym and getting in your work than being in an actual fight. So I just think that he needs to stay active. He's getting up in age too, so he just needs to stay active. And just find that spark, that fire, man. I mean, he's had the opportunities to fight, some of the, the elite fighters like Spence. Why didn't he go after Pacquiao for a rematch? So I don't know. Keith Thurman, it's like what Spence says, man. He's always hurt. So who knows what's going on in his mind? Yes, he has a family, but I mean, he has to feed that family. So he needs to get in the ring. It's either you going to fight or you're not going to fight. So by him being inactive, all these fighters are getting better while he's sitting idle. So, and my question is, and I don't know if you can help me, Renee, or if you can help me, G5, if Keith comes back, who would you put him in the ring with? I get Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, you know, he's been inactive since the Spence fight. I get that. I understand that. That would be a good fight. But if that fight falls through, who would y'all want to see Spence, not Spence, but Thurman in there with?
What do you think, G5?
I think if you want, go out to Ennis or somebody. I mean, get a rematch with Danny Garcia possibly. I mean, rematch Josecito Lopez. He looking better. So, I mean,
yeah, maybe. I don't
it's
know.
Hard, huh? It's hard. It's
yeah,
hard.
it is hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard because he's been idle this whole time, and everybody else is getting better.
They're passing him out, man.
Yeah, they're passing him up. So, what do you want to do? That's what happens when these fighters, man. They're hungry at the beginning of their career, right? Then they make the money. Once they make that money, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take some time off, which I understand. You know, your body needs to heal, but the longer you stay inactive, you're not gonna be the same. And we saw that 2 weeks ago with Conor McGregor coming back and getting stopped.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, Thurman needs to he needs to look himself in the mirror and say, hey, do I want to continue to do this? If I do, then let's get it.
Facts, man. I mean, maybe I'm a little too impatient sometimes, but I just think that I've said this some time ago. I don't remember which video, man. It was a while ago, but I just think I'm not interested in Keith anymore. The reason why I'm bringing him up in this chat in this session is because, you know, he recently came out and said he wants Spence. It's like, bro, you just I don't believe in Keith. I'm kind of to that point. I don't believe in this guy anymore. I love him, of course, but I used to just really be really interested in him back when he was, you know, making moves, back when he was fighting, you know, out there, Danny Garcia, Porter. I mean, I was like, yes, Keith Thurman's making big moves. I love this. Who's next? And then all of a sudden he just fell off the map. And then, you know, I'm coming, my get back here. How many times did he said that already? He's saying it again. He's not saying it that this is his get back year, not in that phrase, not in those terms, but he's saying it again. Oh, this year, you know, I'm gonna get back, and it's like, dude, I don't believe this guy anymore. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe him anymore, man. It's sad for me to say this. I never thought I would say this about Keith, but you know, too little, too late, bro. I just kind of think that the division's passing him by. Right. It's just too little. I think it's too little, too late for Keith. I'm really not even interested in him coming back, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the guys who are making moves. And ASAP said exactly ASAP. Gary didn't want 1 million, but he not making any money. But exactly by not fighting, exactly. Then Gary Russell, just stay around there in your gym, bro, and don't do nothing. That's fine. The sport's passing you by. What did I say some time ago recently? You know, we all, a lot of people, generally speaking, boxing community, we focus on fighters who are active because we're gonna forget those. You know, the boxing community, and generally speaking, people who watch people who watch boxing, whether casual, whether hardcore, whoever the heck, we're going to forget you, man. If you're not fighting within a year, you're going to be forgotten about, bro. I mean, and that's kind of how I am. I'm just looking over those guys who are, and I'm talking about this because this is news. This is recent. So, you know, Gary Russell, Keith Thurman, and there are more names out there, obviously. If you're not making any moves, just okay, who's next? Who's next? You know, because okay, the Pacquiao thing, okay, that was nice. People remembered you, but a couple months after, they forgot about it. I mean, it is what it is. Keith Thurman, he's not making moves anymore, and it's like, bro, step to the side. Okay, I'm focusing on the Ennises. I'm focusing on the Virgil Ortizes. I'm focusing on the Buds. I'm focusing on the Spences. I'm focusing on even Danny Garcia to a certain extent, not much, but you know, all these other names Ugases. I'm focusing on the Porters. I'm focusing on all these other names in the welterweight division. Keith is just like, you know, he pops his head in. It's like, hey, I'm here. No. Don't even, you know, get to fighting, and then we'll start contemplating you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I see it right now. But man, I don't know that this dude. But anyways, man, any final thoughts? Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Think about this. Let's say if he would have went after Pacquiao for a rematch, right? And let's say Thurman would have won. Then you have Bud as a champion, Spence as a champion, and Thurman as a champion. Then they could match up Thurman versus Crawford, and the winner out of that fight gets Spence for undisputed. Tell me that wouldn't sound nice.
Of course.
I would love to see that.
Of course. What do you think, G5?
Now it's like, yeah.
Oh, my fault.
No, you're good.
Yeah, G5, what you got on that? On what LeVar just said about those matchups?
I think all of them are cool. I mean, you know, we can't go wrong. We just want to see fights. You know.
Pretty much.
We sure do.
That's the number one thing. We want to see fights, especially good fighters that are not actors. You know, it's just like, come on, what are you fighting for? You've been doing this your whole career. Like, why stop now? Especially if you're in the prime of your career. So, if you know, get an opponent who's at least a beat fighter or anything like that, hey, we got to take what we can get these days.
Yes, sir. Now, let's get to some other news because, you know, Thurman and Gary Russell, you know what I'm saying? We pretty clear, you know, our opinions and our outlook on that. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This looks like it's more concrete. You know, this definitely looks like it's more concrete. And I think it is because I think it's going to come to fruition. Why? Because this comes from fighters who are more about fighting and not just running their jaws off, not just selling wolf tickets. Not really. These guys aren't really about that. Okay. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Joyce is recently saying, okay, he's saying that they're expecting a fight between him and Usyk in April. He said that negotiations are going smoothly. So it looks like a big possibility, man. It looks like a big possibility. The plan is that they're going to fight in April. It's not official, but he's saying that, you know, the negotiations are going smooth. So Usyk and Joyce, I would like to see that fight. Let's go to LeVar, then we'll go to G5, then Bruce. What do you think about that, LeVar?
That'll be a good step up for Usyk. I think that'll be a real good fight. I mean, Joe Joyce, man, he showed us what he could do, man. He took out Daniel Dubois, and I really thought Daniel Dubois was going to win that fight. I really didn't see that coming. That'll be a good fight. You know, I would like to see how Usyk, how their styles will match. I really can't wait to see it, man. I think it's a step closer of Usyk getting to. I know he wants, you know, the heavyweight crown. It's getting him a step closer, and I like how they're gradually doing it. They're just not feeding him to the wolves, so he's gradually getting to where he needs to be so that he can get that title opportunity. I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's the start, you know, for the heavyweight division. You know, we're hearing about Fury and AJ. Can't wait for Wilder to get back in there, man. So it's a step. What do you think, G5?
I think I'm not too impressed with Usyk at heavyweight, really. I mean, I haven't seen nothing at heavyweight that's making me like, ooh, or wow. So, him and Joyce or something like that, that's not a bad fight. It's not a bad fight. It'll be a step up for him, though, which would be good.
I personally don't think Usyk will make it to the top in heavyweight division. I don't think he can make it to the top, man. Or Joyce. I mean, that's just my humble opinion, bro. These guys, I mean, I think it serves for a good fight though between these guys. I would consider these dudes. I mean, I don't buy the hype, bro. I'm not saying that these guys are hyped, but you can put 100 belts on this guy Usyk from the cruiserweight division. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Amazing, you know, come up. But in heavyweights, you're not convincing me. That's how I feel about Usyk. He's not convincing me to make it. I don't think he's gonna make it to the top. Okay, Bruce goes, what's your general outlook? And then we're gonna get to that with LeVar again and G5 and Bruce. Bruce, what's your general outlook on Usyk versus Joyce?
I would love to see that fight. I think that's a great fight at this time. Usyk, as you know, he's a unified was the undisputed cruiserweight champion. He hasn't shown us all he can do at heavyweight. He's just shown us enough to get by. Joe Joyce, I like his style. He's got that big plodding style. Everybody calls him Slow Joe, but I see a little Sonny Liston in that boy. He comes forward with that big thudding jab. It doesn't look like it's much, but after 7-8 rounds, man, your face is hammered out. I think this is a great fight at this point. It's a really true crossroads fight. One fight is going to go up, the other fight is going to stay where he is and have to rebuild his career. I love heavyweight boxing. This fight lights a fire under me. I'd love to see it.
I think it would be a nice fight. I mean, hold on, G5. Let me just get real fast. Let me get to Chris real fast. Chris Reyna, thank you so much, bro. Yeah, bro. The good thing is I got your email, so I'm gonna get at you, Chris, in your email, right? So we can chop it up, definitely, man. Miss Chris, man. I had Chris on, Chris Reyna. Shouts out to Chris Reyna, man. Months ago on a live. It was fun, man. Definitely got to get you back on, Chris. Okay. So what were you gonna say, G5?
I had one on mute, so I stepped away for a second. Can you repeat what you was on at the bar?
Okay, no, okay, real quick. This is something I had in my mind, and we'll get to we'll do G5, and then we'll go to LeVar, and then we'll go to Bruce on this other aspect concerning Usyk, okay, and Joe Joyce, both these guys. All right, I mean, I give credit to definitely to these guys. I mean, but I'm not convinced with Usyk and the hype. I think it's more hype with this dude. I also think Joe Joyce, I don't know if he's as hyped up, but I'm not too convinced with these guys making it to the top because of several factors. I definitely give Joe Joyce his credit, though, because of his fundamentals and his jab. Obviously, he beat Daniel Dubois, which is a big disappointment for me, at least. I thought Daniel Dubois was going to go in, show up, and show out against Usyk. He really disappointed me, man. I mean, I'm sure Dubois can come back, but that was a big disappointment. You lose by a jab, bro. I mean, that's kind of sad. I'm sorry. That's just kind of sad, man. That Anthony Yard, when he fought, I think it was Lyndon Arthur, I think his name was. You lost by a jab, Anthony. Come on, bro. Didn't you learn from Kovalev? He beat you with the jab. I mean, sometimes
it happens.
Yeah, it does. I just, man, how can you not know as a fighter? I'm not sitting here hating, I don't do that. It's just my humble opinion. That's all, and my zeal for the sport of boxing. How can you as a fighter not know how to box against someone with the jab? It's like, bro, Anthony Yard, when he fought Lyndon Arthur, and this connects with Usyk, I'm not getting off topic. There are so many examples, but Anthony, how can you not learn how to use, he wasn't even using the jab against Lyndon Arthur. I think it was Lyndon Arthur, his name was, his recent fight. I mean, how can you not? He wasn't even using the jab. It's like, bro, you got to go back to the drawing board. Daniel Dubois definitely has to go back to the drawing board. How can your coaches not teach you a jab? Isn't that sad? I mean, it's like, what the heck? I mean, okay, so whatever. So I give credit definitely to Joyce for using that jab. He used it amazing against Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois put up a good fight too. I think he put up a good fight until he got, he lost. But what I'm saying here is this, and then we're gonna get to G5, and then we'll go to LeVar, and then we'll go to Bruce. Okay, I'm thinking personally, this is a nice matchup, Usyk and Joyce, if it happens in April. That would be great. I would love to see it. But these two guys, I don't think they can make it to the top, man. You actually think that he can make it against an Anthony Joshua, against a Tyson Fury, against a Wilder? These two guys? Nope. Exactly. Okay, go G5. What do you think about that?
I don't think I agree with that. I don't think they're gonna make it to the top. Maybe top 7-ish or something, but I don't see them being like front runner in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I don't either. What you got on that, Bruce?
Well, they have to fight. They have to prove themselves. They both have. They're both top contenders right now. I'd love to see that fight. Joe Joyce is like we just talked about this. He's slow, but he's got that that jab, it's like somebody taking a telephone pole and just ramming it at you. You know, it's some of those are going to get through, and the ones that get through, they're going to hurt. I don't know if Usyk can take it. Usyk, he looked good when he fought Kasaria, but who's Derek Soria? He's another also Rand. I want to see him in there with some good competition. I think Joyce is the right competition. This would be a great fight. I'd watch it. I'd pay for it. That's it, man.
Yeah. What do you got on that, LeVar? You think Usyk and Joyce can make it to the top in the future?
No, I don't. I agree with y'all. But if Usyk wins this fight, they're gonna feed him to the wolves after that, man. Because Hearns wants to keep those titles over there in the UK, so they're gonna give Usyk the opportunity, especially if he'll probably face the winner out of Joshua and Fury. Who knows? But only Eddie Hearn, he knows that. I just have a feeling that they really want to keep all those heavyweight titles over there in the UK.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a big possibility. And the thing here is that we don't even know, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know if Anthony Joshua or Fury is going to even happen. I'm still not convinced. I'm honestly still not convinced that fight's even going to happen, bro. I mean, they just been going back and forth, and you don't see nothing like solid. You see what I'm saying? You don't see anything solid when it comes to what the heck is going to happen with these dudes. I mean, because Eddie Hearn's a blabber, man. That guy blabs away too much. You know what I'm saying? He says so many things, and we're looking at the venues. But how many times has he said that about other things? You know what I'm saying? I'm just not convinced yet that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is going to fight just yet. Hopefully they do. If
Right.
they do, then I'm going to definitely start. We're going to throw a live session and we're going to break that down, man. Definitely.
Renee, I'm just saying, just in case. You're right. Who knows what's going to happen? And at the end of the day, man, these fighters, man, they should already have something lined up. They got done fighting. They spent the Christmas holidays with their family. They spent the New Year's with their family. Things right now should start lining up for these fighters, far as who they're going to be fighting next. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully soon we'll start getting. I mean, we're getting little trickles here and there, but it's like what G5 said and Bruce. It's time for these guys to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna make that Joshua and Fury fight, make it happen. But far as get back to Usyk, I don't see him lasting that long in the heavyweight division. He definitely can't beat Wilder. Ortiz, King Kong, that
Wow.
boy. He can't last.
Yeah,
with him.
King Kong would eat him alive.
Yeah. And Ruiz, granted, if Ruiz gets, if he can take care of the weight issue, he'll be a monster too in that heavyweight division as well. That boy has fast hands. He surprised me against Joshua the first fight, but I really don't see Usyk lasting long in that heavyweight division. Those guys are, man, they're beasts.
Yeah, I don't see exactly. I just don't see it. I don't see Usyk and Joyce going up there. And if, like you were saying, if Anthony Joshua and Fury fight, let's just theoretically speaking, and then Usyk has to fight the winner, Usyk's going to be humiliated, man. I think he's going to be humiliated. How far up do you think he can go, Bruce goes? How far up do you think Usyk or Joyce can go up?
Well, they have to fight. I mean, the division is fairly open. It's you've got your champions at the top, but there's nobody after we talk about the the top 5 heavyweights. That's why there's a vacuum there, and these guys can get in the ring and they can fill that vacuum. They're talking about live crowds and they're not getting the money and everything. Hey man, we're doing a Super Bowl in a couple of days, and it's going to be a limited crowd. That's just the way it is right now until things get back to normal. You've got that bubble to box in. The promoters, the networks, that they have to stage these fights. They have to promote these fights and get them ready. We can sit here, we can talk all day, and there's nothing I like better doing right now. But until we see these fights actually presented to us, given a time, a date, and a place, it's all we're all just talking. We're just spitting names out.
No,
we want to
see action. But the thing here is, stylistically speaking and skill-wise, how far up do you think Joyce can make it?
Well, like I said before, Joyce is a powerful hitter. He's slow, but he reminds me of Sonny Liston, where he keeps coming forward. He's got a chin like a chin like an anvil. I see him. You know, he could possibly be a champion. You know, he's got the punch. I want to see him tested. You know, what we want to see him fight somebody higher than Daniel Dubois. He's, you know, it's time to make those fights. We can argue about it all day, and I think Joe Joyce does have the style to go far, but he has to be proven. He has to have the tests, and that's what we want to see. Joe Joyce against Usyk, to me, that fight's got me foaming at the mouth, man. I want to see that fight. I'd love to see that fight. I love heavyweight boxing. You know, and in my world, it's the heavyweights and all the rest. That fight would be fantastic. I give Joyce a lot more of a chance than other people do. I'm one of those slow Joe Joyce fans, and I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a chance to make a lot of ripples in the heavyweight division. But that's only what I think. You know, we have to see it done in the ring.
Wow, so that's interesting. Stylistically, you think he can actually be a champ one day? All right.
I haven't seen him take a backward step that I can remember.
Nice, man. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with Joe Joyce, man. I just personally think I just don't think he can make it, man. But we'll see. We'll see, right? Time will tell. And I think this would be great. You know, Usyk versus Joyce. I definitely want to see this, man. And like I said, I incline more to this happening because those guys aren't just wolf. They don't just sell wolf tickets. You know? I mean, these guys really, they get in there. I mean, I got to give them that credit. Definitely. These guys don't play around when it comes to fights. So it looks like when they say something, it's going to happen. Same thing happened with Dan Dubois and Usyk. You know, they were going to fight, and then it got postponed, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because of the whole Corona stuff. And then, but they really did get back to fighting. So I mean, you know, they went around and rescheduled the date, and they fought. So you know, it looks like these guys are really about their business, and I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate and respect it, and I really do think it's going to happen. Joe Joyce versus Usyk, and I think it's going to go down. So. It's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a great fight, even though they're, you know, yeah, I understand they're kind of slow. Usyk's kind of slow too, man. But that's going to be a great matchup, you know. But them going to the top, I'm just not so sure of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not so sure. But yeah, man, you know, I kind of made this short this time compared to the other lives, man. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to chop up that this boxing news that came up recently. Yeah, definitely. Macadasa the South, definitely. Yeah, it is a good matchup. It is a good matchup, man. I really want to see it. It would be great, you know. And this will determine also, I mean, this will determine also, before we get out of here, if Joyce is going to grow, like, if he's going to grow, like, in certain aspects in his game, you know what I'm saying? I do appreciate, though, Joyce in his recent fights, if you go back to other fights that he has had, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but he does have decent head work, man. Head movement, you know, before Danny Dubois, several fights before that. He has decent head movement, man. And his footwork looks all right. I mean, he's pretty quick in those aspects. But when he punches, yeah, we already know the story. He's kind of slow. But have you noticed that, LeVar, concerning Usyk and other fights, that he can use his upper body quite well, man?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in a couple of his fights, man. But I think with the heavyweights, man, some of them are too athletic. These heavyweights are different from the heavyweights from back in the day. I mean, Joe Joyce and Usyk, I really think they're going to struggle with the top 5 heavyweights, especially like a Deontay Wilder, because he's so athletic, man. He's a hybrid type of heavyweight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's different. And I just see him, that straight right hand is going to drop Joyce, man, and Usyk as well. So Usyk's been showing like great head movement and stuff like that, but he just hasn't been impressive. And you know, he punches slow. So I mean, he's really going to have to, you know, go back to the drawing board and fix that, because when you're fighting, if he's going to fight the top heavyweights, he can't make any mistakes, man. It's like what Floyd said: you make a mistake, you're gonna pay. So I just see him having issues with some of those heavyweights, especially the athletic ones. So
yeah, definitely. G5, do you think what you have seen so far with Joyce and his previous fights, do you think he can grow more stylistically, or is it the same old Joe Joyce?
You can add a few little wrinkles to your game, but once you've been a pro so long, you kind of who you are. I mean,
right.
You may be able to add a few different things, maybe get a little faster but I don't think it'll be too much of a change unless you change up like the pace of the fight or adding more punch combinations or something like that. But I mean, he could take a punch. He's not the fastest, but he willing to fight. So, I mean, I guess we've seen enough to know that he's going to be who he is.
Right. Pretty much, man. That's kind of how I see it. That's exactly how I see it. And that's why I think he's just not going to make it really high in the heavyweight division. I haven't seen too much newness in Joe Joyce. You know what I'm saying? I think I exactly, G5. I think that I've seen enough from him to see that he's not probably going to grow too much more, which makes me really doubt he's going to make it to the top. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. I don't know, Bruce, if you want to add something to that. Do you see Joe Joyce like growing as far as stylistically speaking? Have you seen him grow?
Well, he is what he is, man. And I've been watching this game long enough to know in that heavyweight division, one punch can change the whole scene.
That's true.
I've seen it so many times. Joe Joyce has the power. He's 33 years old now. He's going to make a move very, very soon, or he's going to be one of those old guys where he comes in the ring and they're going to say, I hate to use a Larry Merchant line, but are we going to see the Joe Joyce of old, or are we just going to see an old Joe Joyce? So he's got to get on. He's got to get off the fence. He's got to make a move, and I think right now is his time. And who knows, man? Who knows? Like I said, I've seen so many heavyweight fights, even title fights, where one punch ends the fight, and we got a whole new history building before us. So let's see that fight, man. Let's see Joe Joyce make a move, because he can't sit back any longer. He's not a young man. He's got to make his move. He's beyond his prime, and now it's or maybe even in his prime. They say 30 is the new 20 and 40 is the new 30. But anyway, Joe Joyce, he impresses me in the ring. He's slow, but hey, man, he's got that power, and he just keeps chugging forward.
Yeah, man, good points. Great stuff, man. So, like I said, compared to the other lives, kind of short today. I got to go do some stuff right now. So, LeVar, any last words? And we'll go to G5, then go to Bruce. Any last words, bro?
Renee, thank you for having me on, brother. It's a pleasure when you invite me on to your platform. I really do appreciate you. To G5 and to Bruce, man, y'all are my brothers, man. I like talking boxing. I learned a lot from y'all. I don't know everything about boxing. I know just enough, but talking to y'all, I really do appreciate y'all, and to the entire chat, man. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, hit that post notification bell, and like the video. Stay safe out there. Once again, make sure you mask up and wash your hands.
Definitely. G5.
Renee, salute, man. It's always a pleasure, as always, brother. Bruce LeVar, salute to you, good brothers, as always, man. It's always good to chop it up. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Keep spread Renee name out here, man. He's doing good work. Check me out. G5 Gate, all social media platforms, and we working, man. We building over here. So salute to the chat, and everybody be safe. Have a good day.
Definitely, man. Go subscribe to G5 family. You know what I'm saying? And definitely subscribe to G5. LeVar Cooper got some things in the work in the background. Whenever you want LeVar Cooper, you can go ahead and throw it out there here on the platform. But, you're working things in the background. So definitely, man, keep an eye out for LeVar Cooper. Also subscribe to G5. Bruce Goes, any last words, fam?
Yeah, man. I wasn't really expecting to hop on here today. I didn't even know you were doing a show today. I love these spontaneous lives that you throw out there.
Yeah.
All the panel, man. LeVar, G5, you, Renee, the chat, man. I mean, you guys make my day when I come on here. I really love it. I can talk to some people who know what they're talking about. I get answers that make sense. It feels like my boxing IQ goes up a couple of points every time I get on here and talk to you guys. And I love it. Everybody, thank you so much. And we'll catch you again the next time.
Definitely, man. We all grow from each other. You know what I'm saying? And definitely, Lord willing, next week we'll continue Flash Lives. I reiterate, those who might not be in the scoop with it, of this Flash Lives, it's spontaneous, but I try to do it early in the week and later in the week, and or like, you know, Monday or Tuesday. It looks like I'm doing it more Tuesdays and Thursdays or Fridays do flash live. So y'all just keep an eye out for those days. You know what I'm saying? So definitely thank you guys so much for jumping in the building. Like, subscribe, share, check out like I said, I reiterate one more time, check out my last video I just posted about, McCaskill and Breckus. These queens need more light. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to have to talk about that in the next live. I was planning on doing it today, but, you know, I wanted to talk about this recent current events that's coming out right now recently that we talked about in this live. So definitely, I got to dedicate some time, Lord willing, next live. We're going to break down Breckus and Cecilia Breckus and McCaskill. We definitely got to dedicate almost a whole live on them two queens. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to reiterate before I leave, please, let's put the spotlight on these queens. Please, let's put more emphasis. And this is for all the other platforms out there. This is a small channel. They'll probably not hear it, but whatever. Try spreading the word, please, ladies and gentlemen. These other platforms got to push more the ladies in the sport of boxing. Come on. Oh, man, I want to talk about it right now. I can go another hour with you guys on this, but I got to go do some stuff. But these queens are doing what more male fighters got to do. They're putting this. They're setting the example. Oh my gosh, I can go off right now, but I don't want to do it right now. So yes, please, guys, go check that video, go share it, and thank you guys so much for jumping in. Renee Box Young, stay safe. Peace out, fam. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.